What's up, you guys? Welcome to today's video. So I'm not really sure how to start this video other than saying baby daddy got arrested, and we're going to talk about that today. If you're new to my channel, my name is Jess. I'm a recovering addict who served time in prison. So just to give you guys a little recap, I met this man when I was in Fort Smith in 2011, and I dated him for a few months, and then we got arrested. After I got arrested, I found out that I was pregnant, and I was terrified. My daughter was eventually born while I was in prison, and that entire experience was so traumatic for me and so difficult for me. But when I got out of prison, she was placed in the foster care system, and I had to work a DHS case to get her back. I now have full custody of her, and along the way, there's been a lot of bumps in our journey. I've always been very honest with my daughter about her biological father and about him being sick, and he has substance abuse disorder as well as PTSD. I believe he has PTSD. He is not diagnosed, but all the signs are there. And she was supposed to meet him for the first time last year, and we went to Arkansas so that she could see him, and he didn't show. I believe that is the last update that I gave you guys, as well as I talked about how I talk to my kids about important things like substance abuse disorder and mental health and jail and all of those things. So I will link more videos down below. If this is the first baby daddy video that you are seeing, I would recommend checking out those other ones first. But essentially that is the recap. So let's jump into where we're at today. This is no surprise to me. I've been waiting for this for some time now. About 6 months I've been waiting for this to happen because I'm still in contact with people where he lives, and he's been seen out and about buying substances, you know, doing his thing. It's no surprise to me that we are where we are today with him being in jail. Now, I will get into his charges in a second and where we're gonna go from here, but I have not been in contact with him for, months, 6 months? The last update I gave you guys was like 3 months ago, and we hadn't been in contact for months before that, so it's been some time now. He has not wanted to communicate with me because he knows how I feel about him needing to be sober in order to have contact with our daughter. And, you know, it's just a really crappy situation. It's a crappy situation, and I felt as though I felt so helpless. I still feel helpless. Like, there's nothing I could have said to him, and I tried. You know, I tried to encourage him the best that I could, but that advice was kind of brushed off as quickly as I gave it. So I wanted him to know that we were so supportive of him and his sobriety. I wanted him to know that he wasn't alone, which is really important in my personal opinion when you're dealing with somebody that is struggling with substance abuse disorder, that they know that they're not alone, and if they need help, they can turn to you. It's very important that I let that be known to him. He didn't want any part of that. The only thing he ever asked me for was money, which I turned down. So like I said, I knew this was coming. I knew that he was going to get arrested. I scroll through the mugshots for that county every day almost. When I clicked on it a couple of days ago, I scrolled right past him. I didn't even recognize him. I only checked that county specifically for him. You know, like I said, I knew that this was gonna eventually happen because of the lifestyle that he lives. So when I went to check it a couple of days ago, I scrolled right past him, and then I just caught the name, and I scrolled back up, and I'm like, damn, dude, like, this is a lot of charges. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about the charges. Fleeing. It's my assumption that he either took them on a little bit of a chase in a car, or he just ran from them straight up. So fleeing, second-degree criminal mischief. I'm not exactly sure what that entails. It probably happened during him fleeing. I'm not exactly sure. Possession of a controlled substance with purpose to deliver, which means he was carrying a substantial amount. No surprise there. Possession of another controlled substance with purpose to deliver, again, no surprise there. Parole violation and an ICE hold. When he first got out of prison, he was so frustrated that he couldn't get a job. People were not wanting to hire him, and he has had a lot of issues with immigration because he is not a legal citizen. So he was having a hard time getting documentation so that he could get a job that wasn't under the table. That frustration and not having money was really wearing him down. He just didn't feel good. You know, he didn't feel good not being able to buy his own stuff and ask. He felt horrible having to ask his family for anything. Now, he did parole out to his family's house. you know, so he wasn't homeless. He had a place to go. There was food. There's always food in the house. But I know him and I know how he felt, and he just wanted money in his pocket. He wanted to be able to take care of himself, not have to worry about money. And because he couldn't get a job fast enough, and because there was no programs in place to help him with all of this immigration stuff to get what he needed for a valid driver's license or what have you, he resorted to selling drugs again. This is a really harsh reality when it comes to people getting out of prison. You know, and especially in his case where this is a very specific problem with the immigration, and we'll get there in a second, but he didn't have anybody that he could turn to that could help him with this, or he felt as though he had nobody. I know that his family members have gone through this immigration thing as well, but I think he just got frustrated and gave up. And you see that happen over and over again. That's why recidivism rates are so high, because when people get out of prison and people aren't wanting to hire them or give them a chance or be there for them, just to give them normal things like a job, we need to stop making it so difficult for people to re-enter society. This starts with employment. You know, I'm not saying that we need to start handing out apartments and cars and all this stuff to inmates. I'm saying we need to hire felons. I'm saying we need to hire people. I'm saying we need to help treat substance abuse disorder. And that starts on so many levels. I personally believe we need to decriminalize drugs. And a lot of people are like, oh my God, so that means you're just okay with people doing drugs? No, people are going to use substances if they choose to put that in their body. A law is not going to stop them. And because of the war on drugs, we have 2.2 million people incarcerated in this country. We have the highest incarceration rate in the world because we're locking up people that need treatment. Addicts don't need prison, addicts need treatment. And I have not ever been to a facility that does not have substances. There is not one time I've walked into a prison and I couldn't find a drug if I wanted it. Guards bring in at a ridiculous rate. Guards bring it in. That's how it's brought in. Guards bring in cell phones all the time. That's how you can watch your favorite prison TikTokers from prison. It's because a correctional officer gave that inmate a cell phone. Our system is unbelievably broken. So let's move on from that, because I'll rant about that forever. The ICE hold. Now, he is from Laos. This is an obstacle that he has had to deal with his whole life because he has been in and out for substance abuse disorder his whole life. If he was from Mexico, Mexico would accept him back into the country. So our country could deport him if he was from Mexico, or our country could deport him if he was from a country that accepts people being deported. Laos, however, is a country that does not accept you if you're deported from this country. So America cannot deport him because his country will not accept him. He came to this country when he was a child, but specifically, Laos will not accept you if America deports you. So it's kind of like you're in limbo. So the ICE hold is, ICE knows that that country will not accept him, but they put him on that hold anyway because they technically have to. So that could mean that he is in jail for 90 days longer while they wait for that ICE hold to be dismissed, because they, like I said, they know that they're not going to deport him. What does this mean for our family? Well, it's just another thing that I have to be honest with my daughter about. I'm going to tell her, you know, that he got in trouble again and he's still sick. He's still battling the same thing mommy was battling. I am no different. I struggled with substance abuse disorder my entire life. Seeing him in jail makes me so sad. Sad for him, sad for his family. It's just a really unfortunate case where he was never treated for substance abuse disorder. He was never treated for his mental health, and he had absolutely no idea how to re-enter society. So moving forward, I'm going to be writing him. The jail that he's in has very specific rules about mail, but I'm going to be writing him. I cannot send him pictures right now. I believe I will see if they change the policy. I will call them today and see if I can send pictures. If I'm allowed to send him pictures, I will send pictures. And it's kind of like we're right back where we started with him being in jail. You know, I've dealt with this Micah's entire life, and I'm going to once again do my best to extend him support and encouragement without being judgmental. He never wanted to call and talk to us on the phone when he was in prison. I wouldn't imagine that he wants to do that now, but I will still reach out and write him and do my best to send him pictures and updates on Micah like I have her whole life. I gave him my word from day one that anything I know about Micah, you will know about Micah. I've always gone above and beyond when it comes to letting him know how my pregnancy was going, how labor and delivery went, where she was as soon as I knew. I've always done my absolute best to make sure that he is at least informed, because even if I was still battling my substance abuse, I would still want to know that, you know? A lot of parents battle that, and I don't want to restrict information, but I do have to restrict access for Micah's well-being. Right now, I don't think they should have communication, and I'm sure he thinks the same way. You know, he's not really doing okay mentally. I'm sure he's still coming down. I'm sure he's still trying to go through withdrawal, and yeah, I'm sure he's still battling demons. So we might be open to phone calls later, but right now I'm just gonna start with letters, pictures if I can. We will be telling Micah what's going on. I'll answer all of her questions, and I will continue to have an open dialogue with my kids. I'm raising somebody's neighbor, somebody's coworker, someone's best friend, someone's wife, someone's mother, and I take that job very seriously. And a part of that is being honest with them in age-appropriate ways to the best of my ability. So it sucks that I don't have good news, but maybe this will be a wake-up call to him. We never know what somebody else's rock bottom is going to be. Maybe this time he'll realize he's tired and he doesn't want to go through this anymore. That's all I can ever hope for, is that he will reach his rock bottom, and upon his release, he will have better support, and that he wants to be sober. That's what we need. We need him to want to be sober. So I'm gonna end today's video here. If you guys have more questions about this, or you want me to make more videos about how we talk to our children about really complicated situations like this, I would be more than happy to answer those questions for you guys. As always, I love you. Stay safe, stay sober, whatever that looks like to you, and I will see you in my next one.